Alright, just finished the game on DE Bay. Not sure what version this is, but definitely a version. I like the changes thus far. The chickens are not included in the level anyway. It's a shame to see the whale idea go. I think it was so novel, so cool. So cool. I think there's a way to bring it back, but I'm not gonna touch that anymore. Since it's not in the level. Okay, let's get to the biggest change, which is the terraced middle entrance. It's now this lower headshot angle here, which I really like. I think it's such a cool power setup with the headshot, and it creates an interesting dynamic with the short player here, which this sideline has to be feared by the CTs holding that. And this is like obviously so T dominated, or CT dominated, excuse me. All of the mid otherwise from then on is pretty much like CT covered. With the sidelines, and the ground is also CT covered. They can get pretty far here, and I can also see how like positions like this, or like how mid could get like very tiring to play. You know, when you're trying to clear this, that far away angle, that corner there, that all along this thing. Yeah, but also this creates a nice dynamic, as in if CTs are not careful, they can get flanked from there. And also, I feel like that this room is good enough for T's to start clearing this shit. Okay, where I have a little bit of an issue with the map is it's very flat from like, let's say like this ground area. Same goes for like CT, or like CT is playing down there. This is nice. This is like fresh, how it's like, you know, stairs down. When it comes to the whole B side, it's very flat. B main is very flat. It's so flat over here. So my crosshair is just like floating all around like this head level all the time. So I think it also makes a little bit of like a feeling of there not being that much interesting flow getting to the map, and I feel like that might be actually kind of a big of a deal. It's not as small of an issue as you might think. So maybe doing like just starting from here, starting from a little bit lower. Let's say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps lower here, and then gradually you're stepping up like little by little. That could be nice. And then with like, how do you deal with angles like this? It would be like a little bit down, so that instead of CTs peaking like that, you're peaking down like that. And as a CT, you have that teeny tiny bit of height advantage. So the further you peak, the smaller your body is. It does work in here, but since everything is flat, it's not creating... like this feels very 50-50 for the CT and T. And I would prefer for this to be much more CT-sided. But yeah, making a little bit more of a gradual slope here could help with the power struggle in this general area. I get it's a gray box. This part felt really boring to run through, and it's also, it has one giant light here, another giant light here, and third one here. So yeah, just visually it's very boring. We have all the remnants of the old version. But yeah, that's not a huge criticism. It's like maybe give us like a football to kick around. This area, I really like that the setup to mid and outside A are very small. Like you're in the middle here, and you're outside A here. It's like I very much like that. Also, I noticed that one round I was, well, generally when you're rotating back through here, this feels like a very weird movement. So basically, from getting from this to the other side of the wall, you have to run back, jump down, turn 180, and turn right. That's just something that my like brain picks up on when I'm like having to learn a new map, and it's like I'm thinking about this stuff, and when I'm trying to figure out my way through things, I'm just like kind of like, oh, left right. So, but yeah, that's something that probably cannot be helped that much. Okay, then another thing, I think it would be really cool to have some sort of wallbang thing here, like some sort of vent or something that you could just like wallbang the edge of the wall to, you know, do some damage. And actually, because cities can push down here very easily, so I'm just like thinking maybe that should be some sort of a hard, you know, a hard cancel for the CT pushing. There is the drop, but then again, cities can kind of set up in the like behind the drop to camp. Like as a CT, you can get here kind of easily. So there has to be like a little bit more of a hard design to counter this. Also, I think the lower one of these barrels could be added here to make this like a very T-sided of a peak. Not sure what you can do about this, but I think it's fine. You're literally it's like getting exposed to this. There's probably nothing you can actually do about this, so it's like players just need to get better around that. I like this little thing here. You can get a little bit of a hide-and peek down there. The catwalk is kind of weird since it's just like out like that, but I think it's actually really cool that you can do this. I would just cut away like that corner there. So you see how this goes like whoop, whoop. If you cut it like that, so just so like T's can still use it for a headshot, kind of. Here. Cut this wall here, like 8 units backwards, so I can like peek the headshot from here. I don't know. This is very weird for me. It's like it doesn't feel good. Yeah. Also, with this version, I know you get that you have all these boxes. I don't know. Maybe just like try to make them part of the world geometry in the way like this wall would have like a natural, like a weird like a out look like that, so that you can actually call on bomb side like box, lower box. Like here, like swap out a couple of these for like some sort of a thing that makes sense in the world geo. Just like you, for like this might as well be a box, but now you can call a pillar or something. Also, yeah, I'm continuing on the topic of like very mundane, very flat of an area. It's just always felt really flat to me, as it is super flat. So it makes like staring at an area like this, even though we have all the nice colors, just staring at an area like this, just like, you know, makes me sleepy. Okay, CT spawn. Definitely, CTs are spawning like here. I don't think it has to be this big. I would just, for playtesting even, just like take half of it away, and then covering the corner from there. Just making stuff smaller makes it like... Also here you have to like, when you're coming through, you have to clear all the way down there. So instead of the player being here, you can do this and then worry about the rest of the map. This felt fine. I was kind of weird. It was kind of weird that there's no way to get up here. It just means that rotating through CT is really hard to do, and players are always rotating through short. This is the fastest way to rotate between the bomb sites, which I really like for it to be that fast. But it renders the rest of the rotation paths kind of useless if that's so fast, and like the movement device over there is very hard to use. But I think it's fine. It's just that it's not nice to use, and I would like... In a perfect world, you would have this... Okay. What happened there? In a perfect world, you would have this to be like very easy jump. I don't think that it has to be that like this hard of a jump actually. Because like already as a CT you're holding this, and if you just see... If you just like see one of the boxes that you have to jump up on, then I think that that's already like enough. Also how these boxes are directed like towards here. It's creating like all these weird angles against the heaven. So I would worry about like positioning this box against like, you know, making it flat over there. Maybe that could help with the headshot position. This turn needs to be a little bit more wall bangable. I feel like doing 10 damage on with an AK straight to the body or with an M4. I think it's a little bit too little. This corner is fine. I would nerf this corner a little bit, just so you can like peek this much. Like there would be the player head, not here. Yeah, there. And also like I think clearing shit around connectors when you have so much of the bomb site open to you, I feel it's very important to have like super easy, like you can have this peek, and then this peek afterwards. I think I feel very strongly that they should be like easy to peek and easy to clear, but you should be still able to like have corners like this, like maybe making them kind of easier. Yeah. I like Pier. I like the whole thing. I think that this version is like the cleanest yet. And these angles are getting like more refined every update, so it's cool to see. This is cool that you can shoot through that. Son of a beach. Nice Aztec crate. I love that. Yeah, I feel like that's most of my feedback. I don't really know what I said here. Like, you know, a lot has been said, but what context? After one playtest, after the map has changed so much. The map has a strong setting to it. I've always liked this map for like its strong aesthetic. Usually like when you get a warehouse map, you know, it's just like a factory with bricks and concrete. But this is an aquarium inside of a factory, and it's cool. That's enough of a refreshing thing. But yeah, it's getting better and better, but it's still, I feel like the middle, like you don't really want to be playing up there, since the commitment to drop down is so huge. And if you commit wrong, then you're kind of fucked. And playing from up here, the commitment to go back to cover if they actually get this, then you're also fucked. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. Like maybe making the A short or like A connector there, so that you would have always a strong A sniper and A player, and then making a catwalk up here, a window here that you can get to, or something. Like this needs to be more secure for CTs to actually like fight this more. I feel like, but, like there's something in the dynamic that I can't really pinpoint. That I probably have to play a couple more games for me to be able to like, you know, not snuff that out. But right now I feel like the commitments around the level feel too big. For example, like in Anubis, let's say like the bridge window thing, when you're peeking down into water and you drop down, you'll be up there in a couple of like in number of seconds, and you can rotate around that. But here, if you drop down from here, mid balcony, you have to do this thing, which I feel is a huge commitment. Yeah. Also, with older versions, you had the donut here, which was really interesting to see. So maybe instead of actually having a classical mid setup, like, you know, window, that, maybe open up a connector through here, make the window here, and make this connector go through here, back there, through to here, so that you can still rotate through connector and like come out from somewhere here. I don't know. It's just like sometimes you don't really need the mid balcony in levels, and I think that this mid balcony thing is giving you too much struggle and too much like too much shit to worry about with its design. Like it's not really giving you any creativity in the sense of like, you know, just flow. Yeah, I really have to play more games on this version, but those are my first thoughts up on this version again. And yeah, I like the map as it is, but there's truly with players giving feedback like revert to older version. It might be just because of the version being very new or experimental, or just their first games on it, and they have fond memories of the older versions. Or it might be just that there's like some dynamic that hasn't really clicked yet, and you just have to like figure out the small stuff, and then it might actually click. So, but that is map making, and there's no getting away around that, I guess. So yeah, but I like the map. I had a good time. And even though it's a very different map from the one that we started playtesting and have playtested last time, but yeah, I think still figuring the mid out. Otherwise, the bomb site entries are okay, and they're like super nice to take. Like they have a nice dynamic there, where you as a player, if you're rushing, you can pretty much set the dynamic and set the pace for the whole site. Also, I feel like taking away, like opening these two up could be okay, since players are going to be then hugging the back wall more, and they have to be very scared of T's occupying this. Then I feel like then the water area is getting more importance than. I feel like it has to be a little bit more T-sided, and then CTs are like. Maybe these sides should be covered to make this area, you know, when T's are past this, to make this area more like more T-sided, and CTs like trying to clear this lower area would have to like jump on this. Anyway, like I didn't feel that covered when I was like out here, but when I was under it, I was completely fine. Yeah, that's just some ramblings. I'm gonna upload this video so you can actually get to listening to the feedback and such. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough out here in the outer wilds, in the wilderness. All right, that's about it.